So if I want to email you and get there and say, Rod.
Hello ArtWalkers, and welcome to stop number 2. I'd like to thank Vistra Framing and Gallery for having us here. I'm really excited. When I saw the lineup for ArtWalk, I'm like, oh, I gotta interview Jan Elliott. She probably doesn't need any introduction. If you don't know who she is, she's the illustrator behind Stone Soup, which is featured in 300 newspapers, is that right? 300 newspapers across the country. It's so exciting. She's kind of our own little local celebrity. So thank you for being a part of our art walk tonight. Would you like to say hello to everyone?
Hello, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
So Jan, how long have you been cartooning?
I've been cartooning since 1980, but Stone Soup has been in syndication for 19 years. So I've been cartooning longer than I've been making money.
Isn't
that the way it is?
I think that's true for every artist. So can you tell us a little bit about what is the inspiration behind Stone Soup?
When I created the strip, I was a single working mom, divorced working mom of 2 girls who fought all the time. And I just started drawing cartoons about being broke and frustrated with being a parent and wanting to be a better one, and you know, just how hard life was. And I found that the cartoons were really therapeutic. And so when I had 10 done, I took them to the publisher of a local alternative news weekly. Before the weekly, there was something called the Willamette Valley Observer in 1980. Lynn knows the Observer. And I had only 10 cartoons, and he looked at them and he said, oh, I like these, I'll put them in the paper. And there I was, I had a publisher. So that gave me a lot of early and not really earned confidence, because I thought if it was that easy to get one paper, I could get a whole bunch more. No, I couldn't. But I did have my one paper and my $10 a week, and it gave me a deadline and a reason to draw, so I was getting the strip done every day. So I really was just drawing from my life and about what was going on around me in Eugene, and just really whatever I thought of on the Sunday night that I did it before it was due on Monday morning, because because that's how we roll. Never do anything before you have to.
Yes, procrastination. It's awesome. Often a friend and an enemy.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Excellent. Well, it's inspired by your life, but I would say reading it that it actually kind of transcends just one person's life. We can all relate to different elements of the characters.
Well, the characters are really all part of me at this point. I mean, my daughters, bless their hearts, are in their 40s now. So I am not writing about them, and they're very happy about that. They have children as well, so I sometimes get material, you know, from their little ones. But, you know, my characters after 19 years really have lives of their own, and they were all inspired by real people. There was a real Wally, and you know, they're just all very real to me, but I can't completely control them now, and they kind of just, they have their own life and their own interaction, and they talk to each other, and I try to get them to do things and they won't, and you know, so it's kind of like what I started with when they wouldn't do what I told them. I'm back to that now.
Very nice. If there's one thing you want people to walk away from tonight, having looked at maybe some of your strips or meeting you, what is that?
One thing I want you to walk away from. Oh gosh, I don't know. It's harder than it looks. It's a lot harder than it looks. The cartoon comes out 7 days a week. Every Monday I have to think up 7 ideas. Maybe it sounds easy. I challenge you to try it. And then of course you're on the same page as Zitz and Baby Blues and Doonesbury and all these great strips that you want to measure up to. So it's really a challenge, and it's really fun. And it's my own little world, and I love doing it.
Does anyone out there have a question they've always wanted to ask Jan? I got to ask her mine. Really? Yes.
How did you break into the other newspapers?
How did she break into the other newspapers? Excellent question.
The way you get into other newspapers is you basically have to get a syndicate to pick you up. A syndicate is like an agent. So you're out looking for an agent, but they're called syndicates, and they're the ones who supply. It sounds like the mafia, doesn't it? It's a little bit like that. They are the ones who supply the content to all the newspapers. So the horoscope you read, the comics you read, Dear Abby, those all come through a syndicate. And so they're the gateway. And I spent 16 years trying to get a syndicate to pick me up. Unfortunately, I started just after Lynn Johnston, who does For Better For Worse, and Kathy Guys-White, who did Kathy, and Nicole Hollander, who did Sylvia. Those 3 women were already in the paper. And I was told over and over again, we have Lynn, we have Kathy, why do we need you? In the beginning, there was this idea that they didn't need any more women. We had some. God forbid we should have more. Please don't let too many more in the gate. So it took me a while to get, past that resistance. Plus, I was working at 9 o'clock on Sunday night. It wasn't my best work. I mean, I had a full-time job and I had kids, and I was squeezing out these cartoons as quick as I could. And so it just took me a long time to really develop. And then a long time for the market to be ready for another woman. So 16 years later, Universal Press finally took me on, and they were the same syndicate that ran Calvin and Hobbes. And I didn't know it, but he was about to retire. And so when they launched my strip, he retired and vacated 2,500 spots, which is enormous. And so even though I was not a replacement for Calvin and Hobbes, there was all that real estate available, and they got me into 100 papers right off, which is making a living. So I was very, very fortunate.
Wow.
After 16 years, I was so lucky.
Yes.
So what kept you motivated during those 16 years?
All right, so what kept her motivated for those 16 years?
Well, I had never done anything. I had done a lot of different kinds of art. I was a potter. I did a little bit of painting. I wrote. I did a little of everything. But I had never done anything where I completely lost track of time. And when I started cartooning, I would completely lose track of time. And the house would get cold, and it'd be midnight, and I'd realize that I was actually freezing, and I hadn't noticed. And so I just decided I should focus on that. And I loved being published. I really liked being published. I liked having people comment on what I did. I liked seeing it in the paper. And then, I don't know, I had enough. I had that one paper. Eventually I got 10 more. They were really little. One of them, the biggest one was a weekly in Berkeley called Parents Press. The smallest was a daycare newsletter. and I had, I was making like $70 a month. But then my strips were they were around the country, and I had a few publishers of single parent magazines or parenting books ask if they could reprint my work in their magazine, their books, their textbooks. So there was just like enough interest and enough success that I kind of kept thinking, well, okay, it could be me. And then I'm really stubborn, and I just kept at it, and I just didn't want to do anything else. So I ended up with a job in advertising, graphic design. I had a decent job. Raising the kids was less hard. I eventually remarried after 10 years, and I really put another big push on after Ted and I got married, because I had more energy for it because I wasn't the sole breadwinner anymore. And he was very supportive and thought, because I asked him a lot of times, am I crazy? But, you know, he's like, no. No.
Excellent. We have time for one more question.
Yeah, so you said you get lost in it, and is that the art part of it or the theme part of it?
So do you get lost in the art part or the
art
theme?
sort of just flow?
Well, I write everything first, but I think in the beginning I was kind of doing it together because I was just doing one cartoon a week. And so I think I was writing and drawing at the same time and a lot of little doodles and things. So I think it was kind of both. You can really get lost in the drawing. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The drawing's really fun. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Jan, very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you again to Vista Gallery. I was so excited to interview Jan that I forgot to thank our sponsor again. So thanks to our sponsor, Pacific University. They have an open house tonight, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at 40 East Broadway. So after you all jump up here and attack Jan and buy her book, it seemed like a good idea at the time. Then you can go check them out. Once we're ready to head to the next stop, you'll hear my voice on the mic calling us on, but please enjoy the art, enjoy meeting Jan. I'm going to embrace just a moment of narcissism and have Jan do a selfie with me. Because, you know, I've got the mic in my hand and I can do that.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not.
There we go.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Jan.
Very much. Thank you.
Did you want to mention that Lynn Easton Peterson is also here?
Oh.
Just one more thing. We also have Lynn Easton Peterson here. Lynn, are you here? Lynn, hi. Good, thank you. Wonderful. So please take a moment. It's always the great part about Art Walk is getting to talk to the artists. So please take a moment. Lynn, do you just want to come up and say hello? Oh, no, she's already talking to people. That's what Art Walk's all about. All right, everyone enjoy.
So if I want to email you,
It takes me away. It's like having somebody read me. I'm the only I make all the copies. So these pieces are made that style.